her tears away. Yet the question still remains: who will wipe the tears from the faces of the children? Who will calm their fears and help them face another day?
This is Cynthia A. Johnson with Stand Up Now, and I'm going to be talking with a special guest. I won't give her name, but she is in the charter school system, and she will be discussing with us about the difference between charter schools and Detroit Public Schools. Hi.
Hi.
So we were discussing some charter schools, and many of the children in the public school system, especially in the city of Detroit, many are attending DPS schools, but so many are attending now these charter schools. And you were saying what?
That I do have a daughter that attends charter schools, and several people would ask me, like, what do you think about this school? What do you think about charter schools in general? And before, I would say, going on 5 years, I've been working in a charter school. And what I've noticed is that these schools are given a budget to say, okay, if you allow us to start this charter school in this neighborhood, we can do it at this very low budget.
So what you're saying to that is about money.
Yes. It's a business. It's more of a business. We can cut costs here. We don't have to, instead of having books, we can make copies. Instead of having computers, we can get these little pads, iPads, and instead of, giving kids a quality education, we can make so many cuts.
But they're not going to tell that to the parents.
No.
That's not what they're marketing with the parents. That's not what they're telling the parents.
No. And then we're going to also cut teachers' salary so that the morale is super low. Because if you pay someone a $25,000 salary a year, how long would you want to teach? And how long?
$25,000 a year. How many children are in the classroom?
Roughly between 25 and 30 students.
Are you serious?
Yes. And they expect these teachers to come in on this low budget and promise them, eventually, we'll pay you more. But they work year after year after year on this very low salary, and the morale decreases. And when morale decreases, students are not given that good quality education, because it's just like anybody at a job. If you're not getting paid what you're due, or what you give this education and you do what you can. But if every teacher in the building, 35 teachers, are using one copy machine because there's no books, and then that copy machine breaks down, and for a whole week your child tells you they don't have homework, what kind of quality is that?
Are the children, would you say that the children in the charter schools are getting a better education than those who are in DPS?
I would say no. I would say, because you look at the test scores, the standardized tests that they take, they're not able to compete. Take my cousin, for instance, that was going to a charter school all the way from first grade all the way till he was in the 9th grade. And by the time he got to 10th grade, he switched over and passed the test to go to Renaissance, and they accepted him. My cousin, which is very bright, did exceptionally well at the charter school where he just came from. Mm-hmm. When he went to Renaissance, he was not able to keep up. His grades fell so low. Like, he was an A student at the charter school. But once he went to Renaissance,
he was not able to keep up.
He was not able to compete with the other students. Couldn't do it. His grades fell below C average. And this was somebody that was on a debate team, that had straight A's. Every time he got his report card at a charter school, he did exceptionally well. And now here he is at Renaissance, and he's struggling. And I don't want that for my child. I don't want that.
What do you think we need to do to change this?
we need to be realistic. We need to understand that it takes more than saying, oh, we have a copy machine and we can make copies. You're depending on a machine to do work for you, to print out book work.
Why do you
Kids
think
need to take a book home and study.
Why do you think, well, there are some DPS schools where they don't have books. So, but my question, if you were to compare the DPS schools with the charter schools, which school would you want to put your child in if you had a choice like that?
I would want to put my child in a good quality DPS school.
There you go.
Because I'm not going to say, it would be wrong for me to say that every DPS school is on track and doing well, because that's not the case, because you see several schools that have shut down because they have not made the test scores and they're in the toilet. But for me to say that I would just choose any DPS school, I wouldn't. I would have to do my background. I would have to check that school. I would have to do some background checking on that school.
Why do you think that the system decided to pretty much trying to close down public education in the Detroit area? Is that the answer? Or what is the answer in your view?
I mean, I think that to give up on a school that's been in the community so long is just not right. I don't think it's right, because you have kids that stay in the inner city that have to travel here and there to get to a school. I feel like if teachers need to be accounted, I think accountability needs to take place. Teachers need to be accountable, and I also feel like parents need to be accountable, because it takes a village to raise a child. And in my eyes, not just the teachers. It's not just on teachers. It's just not on administration. It's on the parents as well. So we need to come together and say, okay, this is not working, but to take a whole school from a neighborhood is definitely not.
Well, that's exactly what has been going on in the city of Detroit.
It has.
They have closed down schools that have been
Numerous
in the area
schools.
for years.
For years.
And I've always been a bit of the belief that if you close down the school, you destroy a community. Period. I just don't understand why the schools in Detroit and any other public schools have been targeted to be closed down only to replace it with a charter school. But it seems like you're making it real clear to me that it's all about the dollars. It's a business.
It's a business.
It's not even about the children.
It's not. It's a business. It's a business where a lot of times you don't even have to tell people where you're spending money. You can choose to pay an art teacher more than you would pay an English teacher. It's really sad, because a lot of schools do choose to document how they're using funds, but some schools don't do that, and a lot of charter schools don't do that. They don't tell you, what money is being used for. They're not going to tell you. They just say, okay, this is our budget. It's a very low budget, and they run with it and say, oh wow, we can do this. But that's compromising my child, your child, her child, his child's education. It's compromising. I mean, and education is just so crucial that we need it. We need to pay good quality teachers what they deserve to be paid, so that they can offer our children a good
solid education.
Yes. Be realistic. That's all I ask. Just be realistic. And so you say bye-bye to this Detroit public school instead of trying to build it up and trying to find out what is the solution. Can we find a solution to this problem? Instead of taking it out of the community, you take away that. I mean, it is really devastating to see that to happen to a whole community. And you see schools that were up and running for 20 and 40 years, and now it's gone due to a charter school coming in saying, oh, we can do this and we can do that for a little of nothing, and that's not realistic. It's just not, because they're still not able to compete. They're still not able to compete with the state. They're not able. Their scores still don't match up. So we're still at point A. We're still there.
Thank you so very much.
No problem.
I really appreciate this, and I'm sure that the listeners appreciate this as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Who will help me wipe their tears away today? Wipe the tears away today. Somebody help me. Will you help me wipe the tears away?